What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on Chris's MMA Universe. For this video here, I'm going to be talking about Anderson Silva, which I believe and so many other people believe that he is the greatest of all time. I believe, my personal opinion, he's the greatest of all time right behind Jon Jones. I mean, Jon Jones is very explosive, and some of the things he does, you're like, wow, he was just dominant in that fight. But Anderson Silva was like some of the things he used to do, and I mean, most of the things he used to do, you would just be like, wow, like, I can't believe he just did that. So, for this video, I just want to mention that it was very, very special to see Anderson Silva compete. I know he's still competing, but my personal opinion, and I believe I speak for many other people as well when I say I believe he should just retire. I believe Anderson Silva has given a great run. He has nothing else to prove to anybody, but I just believe that he should just hang it up. And with all due respect, I don't mean any disrespect towards Anderson Silva. I love Anderson Silva. Definitely one of my favorite fighters. But I do believe that he's done so much for the sport. He's done so much on pleasing fans and, just giving fans what they want to see and always stepping in there to fight. Never had really any issues on that, part of his career on, him not wanting to fight or anything like that or anything of that sort. Like, he was just always there for the fans. And from him having a great run as middleweight champion of the UFC, I mean, he has nothing else to prove to anybody. I just believe, his great fights that, he put on, the great fight that he had with Chael Sonnen that actually won Fight of the Year back in 2010. Just things that he overcame in that fight alone. And, too bad for Chael Sonnen, and I mean that sincerely, but just Anderson Silva pulled it. He saw his opportunity and pulled the W at the very end of the fight. I mean, there were like, 2.5, 3 minutes left, and Chael Sonnen would have been the champion. But Anderson Silva saw a way to get it done, and that's just why he's the champion. That's why you can never count him out. And just everything that he given us, just spectacular fights. I mean, it was just like, it just seemed so easy to him. Like, it was just so simple. Like, he was put on this earth to become a fighter and to just become great. And I really don't believe that he owes us anything else. I know I said that, a couple times already, and it's just because it's true. I mean, he's been losing, a lot of his fights now. I mean, don't quote me on this, but I believe he lost like 6 out of his last 7 fights. And I mean, his fight against Derek Brunson, I mean, was kind of like on the fence. A lot of people thought Derek Brunson got robbed, but then his fight with Israel Adesanya, I think, was a pretty great fight. It's just that it didn't go Anderson Silva's way. But really, this video here is just to kind of like a tribute to Anderson Silva. He's one of the greats. Will always go down as, as many consider him, the GOAT. And I believe he is, like, right behind Jon Jones. I just believe I have to give it a little bit towards more Jon Jones. I mean, Anderson Silva now is 34-9. And, you can't really, you kind of can't argue with the numbers. I just feel Jon Jones is a little bit above him. But Anderson Silva is just, he's just such a great fighter. He was one of the best. He just seemed to be unbeatable when he was back as the champion and in his prime. And, it's just out of nowhere. But then, Chris Weidman came along and caught him goofing around and just, caught him with that left hook. And then that was it. But, and ever since then, he's just never been the same because it just seems like, he just lost it. And that was the fight that took it away from him. And, as a respect to him, even though he did get knocked out in round 2 of that fight, he ended up, getting the immediate rematch because that was what was owed to such a great that was holding the title for, I want to say, about 7 years or so. Don't quote me on that as well. I just believe it was about 7 years. And, it just, some of the things that I actually seen him do where I would watch live, and it was kind of emotional to see. I mean, it was just like amazing to see this fighter that was just spectacular, where it was just like no one is going to beat this individual, and just such a special human being. I just, and honestly, what I want to say is the fight that he had with Michael Bisping, Anderson Silva won that fight. I believe Michael Bisping completely lost. If you would just see Michael Bisping's face, and where if Anderson Silva didn't walk away after he caught him with that flying knee right before that round was over, he would have finished Michael Bisping right then and there. I know a lot of people say, oh, okay, well, he didn't, and unfortunately, Michael Bisping got the nod, but I really do believe that Anderson Silva won that fight. I don't see how Michael Bisping pulled that out, but somehow he got the W, and Anderson Silva once again got a loss. And I just do believe Anderson Silva should hang it up, but not to take away anything from his spectacular career that he's given us. And Anderson Silva, you are one of the greatest of all time, and I know considered to many the greatest of all time. Guys, let me know what you think in the content on whether or not you think Anderson Silva should retire and just hang it up and just, leave the sport gracefully. And if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.